Hey guys, I've missed you this week. I've been out at Sage and I just realized that project 2 starts today. So I wanted to make you some directions. So when you go into our fine arts class and you're in the plan, of course you notice it says project 2 realism starts. So if you click on there, you can go ahead and click more to get to the information, or you can go straight into the content and scroll down until you see the project 2 folder, Realism versus Post-Impressionism paintings, okay? And I've got some nice directions in here. It says you're going to paint the same subject using 2 different techniques. You're going to paint the naturalism or realism technique or style, and you're going to paint the same subject in an impressionism style. Okay, so you're going to get your materials together and you're going to watch the video tutorials below, and you'll submit a professionally cropped and edited photo of each of your paintings with your first and last name at the beginning of the file. Now, I know this seems silly, but for some reason, some students look at first and last and they think that I literally want them to type first last. But please understand, whenever you see first last, that means your name. That's how we identify that it is your artwork, when we see your first and last name. And then naturalism.jpg, and then you'll do the same thing for your, for your impressionism. You're always going to submit JPEGs. Do not ever paste your work to a Word document and submit a Word document to me. Don't ever submit me a PDF file, okay? Always submit JPEG files. Those are image files, okay? And then as illustrated in the 3rd video below, the size of your image needs to be less than 1 megabyte, preferably around 500 kilobytes. So if you're using like your phone camera or whatever, maybe just set the settings so that it's not on the largest file size. Maybe set it to like the medium file size, the medium resolution. And yeah, only submit JPEGs. So right here, the first thing on the list is the Project 2 student gallery and some what not to do. So when you open this up, you can actually click on this view content in a new window and it'll make it nice and large for you. And then you just use this scroll bar and you scroll through. So here's the student work art gallery for project 2. Notice the objectives are to paint the same subject in 2 different styles. So the first time you paint it will be the naturalism style. This is where you use natural tones, realistic 3D blending, and smooth brush strokes. Then you'll paint it in the impressionism style. And that's where you're going to have bright colors, thick, expressive brush strokes like Van Gogh and Monet, right? Fill the entire canvas. So the negative space, the area surrounding the subject, is just as important as the positive space, which is the subject itself. So set your still life up, okay? This isn't just like paint something from your imagination. This is you pick a subject, you put it on the table if you want to lay down a nice cloth to set it on. And you're going to set up a light coming from the side, just like when you did your sculpture, how you set up a light from the side. Same thing here. As you're painting it, you want to have an interesting light source. You want to have an interesting background or negative space. You want to make sure that you have a horizon line. Make sure that you've got some nice cast shadows. Okay, so it's just like when you did your chiaroscuro drawing, how you were drawing the value that you saw. This time you're going to be painting the value that you see. You're going to photograph square to the painting, not at an angle, so that we get the whole artwork and none of it has to be cropped out. And then you're going to crop it so that we don't see the edges of the paper, just the artwork. Okay, and here's some awesome examples of that. So isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. You can tell which one is the impressionism and which one is the naturalism. We've got the natural tones over here. We've got the bright colors over here. Now we could probably, oh, look at those expressive brush strokes back there. Yes, very nice, okay? This one is one of my all-time favorites because this student just totally took it to a whole new level. Look at that. I love the blindfolded face And then look at the treatment of negative space. Negative space is the area in the background. This is such a great example of a student using space. I love it. And you can see those thick, vivacious brush strokes and bright colors versus the natural color palette on the left. What do you paint on? You paint on anything. If you got paper, cardboard, if you can go to the store and get canvas, whatever, paint on anything. It doesn't really matter what the surface is because you're just going to be painting over it, okay? And you're just going to take a picture. We're never going to know. It's going to look great, whatever you do. As long as you fill your canvas, look at that nice horizon line. This one is a little different. It doesn't have a horizon line, but it definitely has some cast shadows there. And I love the way that the student used the color to show us where the light source is coming from. We can tell that it is coming from the right-hand side. This side of the bowl is nice and lit up. And then we've got cast shadow over here on this side of the lip. And of course, the light would hit it on that side of the lip. It's just beautiful. And same thing over here. So be thinking, just drawing what you see, observing it, you know, just really looking at it, looking at the values, looking for pure blacks, looking for shadows, looking for all the highlights and just getting those in there. Highlights are like white paint and shadows can be black. They don't have to be black. They can be, this one right here, I love the use of color to represent naturalism, right? The realistic view versus the impressionism. But what's missing in this one? We're missing a horizon line. This isn't sitting on a surface. It doesn't have a cast shadow. It's not grounded. It's just floating in space. So I would like you to please ground your objects onto a surface, create a horizon line, and give me some cast shadows, okay? Excellent. You can totally see which one is the naturalism and which one is the realism. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Look at that one. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Now, we have a similar situation here where, yes, we have a naturalistic color palette and an impressionistic color palette, but we're missing the fact that we should not be drawing things out of our imagination. We should actually be drawing something that we're observing and seeing sitting on a surface and drawing the cast shadows that we observe. So this, I'm not crazy about the naturalism painting having this aura around it and that it's not actually sitting on a surface and casting a shadow and having a horizon line. For the impressionism piece, I could see a little bit more of going in that abstract direction, but it's still, the directions are to set up a still life and draw it as you see it. Now, this one right here is, everybody loves this. Everyone loves this. I can't deny that it's fantastic. It's absolutely gorgeous. Which one's naturalism? Which one's impressionism? Look at the vivacious brush strokes. That's how you know that that's impressionism. Look at the smooth work here and how it's just very realistically, three-dimensionally rendered. That's your naturalism piece. It's gorgeous. This is fun. Although both of these do have some lively texture for their brushwork, you can tell which one was intended to be impressionism by the color and which one was intended to be naturalism by those natural tones. And then we have pixelation. I love this. Pointillism. Look at that. That's beautiful. Pointillism. We can see the source of light. This is a fantastic impressionism piece. And for that naturalism piece, we see those natural folds coming through and the cloth that was set out. This is a gorgeous still life. Beautiful. And then for the final one, excellent. You can see the smooth, natural blending on the left versus the more expressive brush strokes on the right for impressionism. What not to do. Don't paint a scene out of your imagination, okay? You need to actually set up a still life and paint it as you see it. I think it's awesome that this student did this, you know, project and everything, but really the directions are to get that skill of looking at an object and observing the way light hits it and actually painting what you see, just like you did with that chiaroscuro piece. It's really good practice for you to observe your environment like that. How does light really affect things? And then don't just paint the positive space, which is the subject. You need to paint the entire negative space too, which is the background. You need to fill the entire page. It's not really an artwork if it's not, you know? What not to do. What to do. Photograph square to the page. So you don't want there to be any angle. And then you want to crop it so that we don't see the edge of the page. We're just seeing the artwork itself. And we've seen lots of great examples of that, right? If we scroll up, you can see every one of these was perfectly cropped to the page. They look fantastic. This one, they did crop it so that there was a nice edge, but they painted it so that it had a beautiful cropping, and it actually looks really nice that way, okay? So stylistically, they did that on purpose. It wasn't just like, oops, I didn't crop it right. So what not to do. Do not submit your work sideways, okay? I don't want to have to crank my neck around to try to see it. Here's another example of it not being photographed squared. It's photographed at a weird angle. So we're getting all this background. It's not cropped. Rotate and crop your work, please. Okay, and then just remember to always submit only JPEG files for art classes. Do not submit or don't paste your work on a Word document. Don't submit Word documents. Don't submit PDFs, okay? And be sure to name your files with your first and last name at the beginning of the file name. And I think there might be one more. If you have any questions, text or call me. Get my phone number in your phone. Save it. I'm Mrs. G. Okay, and let's go back now really quick because I think we still here follow that breadcrumb trail back. And you've got these videos here. So video tutorial, naturalism painting. Look at it's me. I'm going to press play. You're going to press play, and you're just going to follow the directions.
Spirit Week is Crazy Hat Day, and I don't really own any crazy hats, but it is a hat, so that's good. Today we are going to be starting with our naturalism painting, and I want to just talk about the difference between naturalism paper that you use in the kitchen for baking. Yeah. I'm just going to be using a canvas. Don't spend too much time worrying about how it looks. I'm just trying to paint what I see. And white together. I already tones and where the lighting is due. Over there. Remember, there's going to be shadows. My brush has so much.
Okay, so as you can see, this video is 46 minutes long. I do the entire painting. If you have your supplies out and you have your still life set up over with the light coming from one side, within 46 minutes, you paint along with me, yours will be done. It takes 1 hour to get the first painting done, okay? And then you're gonna go to your other video, and that one is for Impressionism, and it's the exact same thing. I'm gonna sit there and paint the entire painting with you, okay? So you just need to press play, get your supplies out, and just follow along. You do yours while I do mine. Your style does not have to be the exact same, and for heaven's sakes, please don't do the same subject matter as me. Do your own thing, be creative. Okay, so you kind of get that idea. And then after you get done with your paintings, there is another video down here that says photograph, edit, and save your project. And this one is gonna walk you through how to use GIMP and get that cropped. And that's only a 12-minute long video. It's super short, but it's gonna teach you how to scale the image down so that it's the right size, to crop it, to adjust the color. Okay, so it's publishing is the most important part of your art. Yeah, it's awesome to make an amazing artwork, but if you don't publish it professionally, it's not going to come off looking right. And same thing, you can create a work of art. Look at my Impressionism piece. Like, that's not that great. I mean, I only spent less than an hour and I just slopped some paint on the page, but because of the fact that I photographed it nicely, I took it into GIMP, I adjusted the brightness and color, and I cropped it tightly, it looks professional. So you take your little, piece of artwork that you did and you publish it professionally, and it makes all the difference in the world, okay? Whereas you take an awesome piece of artwork that's amazing and you don't publish it professionally, and it's not going to look good. Okay, so this is a video tutorial that teaches you how to download GIMP in case you haven't ever done that. GIMP is a photo editing software program that we use all the time in art classes, so it's just good for you to start learning how to use that. There's the link to download it. If you have a Mac, it's not going to let you download GIMP unless you change your settings, so this will help you to do that, okay? All right, so when is it due? Let's look. Project starts today. You've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, okay? So it'll be due Wednesday, and it looks like that's the day we'll have class again. So I'll see you then. All right, thank you.